Hey everyone, we just wrapped up the 88th legislative session. It's such an honor to continue to serve you in the Texas legislature. It's been 140 days of hard work, but during that time we've been able to accomplish some big things, and I want to tell you a little bit about what we did. On January 10th, I was sworn into my third term in the Texas House.
The Chief Clerk will now administer the constitutional oath of office to the members-elect of the House of Representatives of the 88th legislature.
So help me God.
Congratulations, members.
I was proud to be appointed to the Higher Education Committee and the Select Committee on Healthcare Reform.
Higher Education, Bucy, Select Committees on Healthcare Reform, John Bucy.
And was honored to be named Vice Chair of the House Committee on Elections, an essential appointment for safeguarding the freedom to vote in Texas.
Elections, Vice Chair, Bucy.
We work to reduce barriers to healthcare for over 400,000 Texas kids who are already eligible for CHIP or Medicaid, but not enrolled in the programs.
Members, House Bill 1599 would create an express lane eligibility program leveraging already verified information to offer enrollment in the Children's Health Insurance Program or Medicaid to currently eligible but unenrolled children in Texas. Mr. Speaker, I move passage.
All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. HB 1599 is passed and gross.
As Vice Chair of the Elections Committee, we fought to safeguard the right to vote and increase protections for Texans trying to ensure their voices heard at the ballot box.
This is our bipartisan update to the ballot by mail tracker. This is a perfected amendment to clean up some references to current code with respect to eligible voters. This amendment narrows who may file an administrative complaint. This amendment exempts counties which use countywide polling from the provision with respect to combining precincts.
And we got some big wins for Texas voters.
Senate Bill 1599 is a bipartisan bill that would make several changes to absentee voting to improve procedures and standardize processes. I move passage.
Being 144 ayes and 0 nays, SB 1599 is finally passed.
SB 477 is a framework to ensure voters with disabilities in Texas are made aware of accommodations available to them and to improve access to the ballot box. I move passage.
The question encouragement passes the third reading of SB 477. All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. SB 477 is passed the third reading.
We also killed legislation that would have made it harder for Texans to vote and harder for the average Texan to file and run for office.
HB 153 by Swanson went into a ballot option to not vote for any candidate.
Mr. Bucy, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, I raise a point of order against further consideration of House Bill 153 under Rule 4, Section 32 on the grounds that the bill analysis is inaccurate and misleading.
The chair has no alternative but to sustain the objection. Therefore, accordingly, the point of order is well taken and sustained.
Mr. Speaker, I raise a point of order against further consideration of House Bill 232 under Rule 4, Section 41 of the House Rules on the grounds that the committee substitute is not germane to the introduced bill.
Mr. Speaker, I move to postpone further consideration of HB 232 to June 1st, 2023.
Disorder.
We stood up for our LGBTQ plus neighbors.
Again, this bill merely says that everyone must play according to their biological sex.
Clearly, we're not going to base this in facts and realities. I haven't heard any need based on any reality here today, and I guess I was trying to get at the root, but there doesn't seem to be any fact-based answers to that. In my professional life, I run a youth athletic, academic, and arts league serving over 250,000 students in the great state of Texas. In our league, we allowed students to participate as the gender they identified as until House Bill 25 was passed in 2021. Our inclusive policy was successful, and we never had an issue. Once again, we are being asked to, quote, save women's sports. There is no research or evidence to suggest that this issue is affecting access and opportunity for Texas women. Senate Bill 15 does nothing to save women's sports. There are so many real issues we must address before this legislative session ends. Instead, we are wasting time on a made-up issue completely unmatched with reality.
And went to bat for Project Connect, killing legislation that would have ended Austin's light rail system and overturned an election where 60% of Austin voters were in favor.
I call up House Bill 3899 with Senate amendments.
Speaker, I raise a point of order against further consideration of House Bill 3899 under Rule 11, Section 3 on the grounds that the Senate amendments change the original purpose of the bill.
Under longstanding precedent that is directly on point, the Senate amendments are exactly the opposite of the purpose of the engrossed House bill. The point of order is well taken and sustained.
We also worked across the aisle to ensure that Texas foster kids will never again be given a trash bag to pack up their lives, but instead be given a backpack or bag of their own.
House Bill 3765 is known as Bags of Love In working on this bill, I met Hallie Lively, a Navy veteran, college graduate, and foster child. When the police and caseworker came to her home 27 years ago, she was given 5 minutes and a trash bag to pack up all of her life's belongings. She had one outfit, one pair of shoes, and a blanket, the remains of which she brought to our committee. There was nothing else in that black garbage bag. This was back in 1996. 27 years later, children are still often only given a trash bag to pack up their life. With this vote, that ends today.
I urge you to vote in favor of this bill, giving these kids just a little bit of something to call their own, to put their things in.
Final passage of House Bill 3745. There being 130 ayes and 15 nays, House Bill 3765 is finally passed.
On budget night, we worked to put taxpayer dollars to good use for the people of Texas.
Members, this amendment would allocate $80,000 to increase funding for voting systems testing and examination as part of the certification process. I move adoption.
The amendment's adopted.
This amendment will help prevent Texas children from being separated from their families and placed in foster care by providing services and support, and I believe it's acceptable to the author.
The amendment's adopted.
And when all was said and done, we passed 19 bills out of the Texas House and passed 6 bills into law.
Reading.
Doing great.
We've accomplished so much this session, from protecting voting rights to standing up against Republicans who have catered to the far extremes of their party. And none of this would have been possible without you. I'm running for re-election because we have so much unfinished business left in this state, from increasing teacher pay to fully funding our public schools to ensuring that all people have equal access to the ballot box, equality for all, health care for all, and restoring abortion rights in this state. We've got work to do, and together we will make Texas as good as its promise.